Hello, welcome to my YouTube. My name's Chris, and you joined me today up at Bolt Head Airfield. This was last year when Keith, he found this Luscombe 8A. It was a barn find. Sadly, been languishing in a hangar for some months. Well, I say months, I really mean years. And it was out of permit and looking very sorry for itself. Keith rescued it. Took it to pieces, and over a couple of years he's restored it to the condition it is in now. So he's stripped it completely down, rebuilt various parts including the tail and various other parts. The engine has been completely stripped down. The cockpit has been completely refurbished with new upholstery, and it's looking very splendid, and he's getting it ready to fly now. And the journey thereafter will be him flying the aircraft around, test flying the engine, running the engine in, and then it'll be put up for sale. And the continuation of our story is the aircraft going to France. Morning start. Keith has sold his very lovely Luscombe 8A and is now going to France. So Keith's getting all ready. Do a channel crossing. It's about 100 miles across water, which is quite an undertaking, particularly in a 1946 vintage aircraft. And Mark will follow behind in his RV9A. Throttled back to try and keep pace with Keith because the cruise of the Luscombe is around about 100 miles an hour. So it'll be an interesting crossing. I think quite a brave undertaking myself. Keith's planned route is departing Bolt Head, coasting out from Start Point, just up the coast, and then taking a direct flight across to St Malo, and just going slightly west of Guernsey and Jersey before landing in Dinard to clear customs. And then it's another approximately 150 miles on to Fontenay Le Comte down in France. So they'll get started shortly and they get ready to depart. Well, I've given Keith a swing on his prop to get him going. This is an aircraft without any starter or a battery to speak of, and so it necessitates a hand swing, much like you would have started a car back in the day. If you're as old as me, you can remember some of the cars had starting handles, so if the battery failed, you give it a swing with the starting handle. And so Keith's getting ready. Mark's just behind him, and they're both getting ready to taxi up to have a look at the runway. It's quite early in the morning, an October morning here at Bolt Head. It's around about 10 o'clock. They've had the updated weather forecast for northern France, which is showing that it's VFR, which means it's legal for them to fly. They can stay clear of cloud, and they've got a decent visibility when they get to they coast in St Malo, and when they land at Dinard. This particular Luscombe was born in 1946. It has a 65 horsepower engine and it produces a cruise of between 90 and 100 miles an hour. And at that rate it uses approximately 16 litres an hour. So Keith will have to stop at Dinard to clear customs anyway, more than likely refuel before he takes the onward journey, because the complete journey is nearly nearly 300 miles, so it wouldn't, this particular aircraft wouldn't have the legs to go that far. And to be honest, Keith's height at just 6'4", it's quite a squeeze in this cockpit, because I think when they were designed, people seem to be a lot shorter. But as I said, Keith's it's a little bit cramped in this cockpit for Keith, so he'll welcome a stopover at Dinard to have a cup of tea and pick up some fuel. Now he's backtracking the runway at Bolt Head. The wind is a little bit of an easterly direction, so he'll be taxiing down to the other end before he takes off, before he turns around and takes off. Interesting, this grass runway that's used today is only very slightly to one side of the main wartime runway. And here comes Mark. He's also started up, getting ready to go, waiting for Keith to take off before he launches off himself. As you can see, Salcombe in the background there. It's quite a lovely day for October, and in a short while Keith will be rumbling up the runway, and you can probably just see that small speck down there. So Keith's actually now lifting off. As you can see, he's just coming over the brow of the hill. Go on, my son, you can make it. It's only 110 miles over the sea. Go on, Keith, you can do it. And it will stand testament to his work in restoring this aircraft. He's got the confidence to fly it all the way across to France, which personally I think is quite incredible. So there he goes, departing into the east and heading out to Start Point. At Start Point's only about 4 or 5 miles out, and once he reaches Start Point, he'll hang a sharp right and then take a direct route across the channel. As you can see here, he routes directly across the channel, going slightly west of Guernsey and Jersey before coasting in at St Malo and then landing at Dinard to clear customs. So we wish him all the well, bon voyage and bonjour, and safe flying. Here's Keith, some footage that he very kindly took where he's approximately mid-channel now, and as you can see there's a little bit of cloud below, but here he is approaching just to the west of Guernsey, and then he'll carry on, and then he's just here west of Jersey, and here he is coasting in at St Malo, which you can see down below. Lovely beach. And then shortly he'll make an approach into Dinard, where he'll pick up fuel and clear customs. As you can see, it's turned out quite a spectacularly lovely day here, flying over the French countryside before making a landing here at Dinard to pick up fuel. Well, Keith picked up fuel, had a cup of tea and a quick bun, and he's now mid-France, heading down to Fontenay Le Comte. Here we are now. We're arriving at the French airport, where his friend Chris is based and where this Luscombe will continue to live. Chris lives in France, a good friend of Keith Wingate's, and he's bought the Luscombe to use down here in France, and Keith just turning the Luscombe onto a final approach into the aerodrome Fontenay Le Comte. As you'll see, it comes round into the view on the right hand side here as he lines up directly for the runway, and shortly to land, meet up with Chris. Here we are on the ground at Fontenay Le Comte, and the Luscombe looking splendid, having made that incredible journey. Almost 3 hours flying time, 270 odd miles. It's time now for Chris to have a checkout flight, and Keith takes him up to show him the ropes and to show him how this lovely Luscombe flies. It's been an amazing story, I think, and quite courageous to take us 1946 single engine aircraft all that way. I've really enjoyed following the story, right from when Keith found the aircraft in an old hangar. It was a barn find which he's lovely restored, and here it will be based at this aerodrome in the middle of France for the near future. And I think it'll have a very happy home. It'll be lovingly looked after by Chris, and you can see the cockpit is in lovely condition. It's an absolutely immaculate aircraft. Well, thank you very much for following along. I hope you enjoyed it. Please have a think about subscribing. Take the greatest of care, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheerio for now. All the best.